am learning the most, of course, from True Social, Donald Trump, and Saturday and Sunday, he's working very hard, and his communication skills and his writing skills are so brilliant, and as are Elon Musk's. And so from Twitter X, and when I apologize because I was tricked by Grande. His name's Grande Antoinette. Well, he's the obese. I don't know what he is. He's like black and gross. He's just a gross person. And my landlord's handyman, hopefully not anymore. He's the one that said, I mistaken. I didn't say any names on Twitter X, or True Social, but I said a 30-year-old, and it wasn't him. He didn't say much, but he's also, got an attitude. So, but Grande is the one that told me, just sitting in my, he said, he's a liar. He's jealous of Donald Trump. So I don't even want to talk about it. I never had a TikTok account. So I opened up TikTok and said something negative about Donald Trump, and I removed it, obviously. But this is whether they're gross men or gross women, they lie, and they just natter, and they gossip, and they're just complete losers. And it's really, it's like something important to understand about World War II. And if you were like John Zamperini, for example, I'll give you an example. In World War II, his plane went down, but he survived for like 40 some days out on the water. But then the Japanese put him in a POW camp and tortured him, because the Japanese believe if you're a loser like Grande, you should fucking kill yourself and commit suicide. They committed suicide. That's what kamikaze is. Shameful to not, you're useless. You're useless. And so, but they don't, that, and now they all, Grande has Viagra, so he can go get a Viagra for $80 and then do horrible things, and just, he's fucking so obese, and I'm terrorized by him. I'm terrorized. There's kids out here screaming and yelling on a Sunday. Why are they here in a motel? And I've been very quiet after what the Lebanese man, fucking liar from the Red Roof Inn, calls the police. Fucking liar. That's why Bobby Kennedy's assassin, he's never going to get out. And I'm glad Gavin Newsom isn't letting him out. He's not ready for parole. The parole board's wrong. He should have never come to this country. So Elon Musk just shared that the South Africa, he said Nelson Mandela was a great guy. And most of you morons you don't even know what apartheid is. And if you maybe do, you don't really get it, and you need to. And you're complete losers, whether you're black or white or whatever the fuck you are. Stay the fuck away from me. I'm sick and tired of feeling terrorized by these little fucking bratty kids out there, and the fucking ugly smokers everywhere. They're loud. I'm not going to call the police on them. Why are you letting your nasty little fucking ugly offspring run around on a Sunday? This is God's day of rest. This is a special day. And my mom did not come clean, but I think, look, I understand, but it's, like, talk about it. And my dad won't talk about it. So, my older sister, she got pregnant with somebody in Mayfield, and she was a very loose, but Sandy Teachout is probably still alive. Sandy fucking Teachout calls me in 2015 and tells me, oh, your mom, it was really bad, Patty. You are just like your mother. Fuck you, Sandy Teachout. Fuck you. So my mother I think she just made the choice to not talk about it. because she chose back in 1963 to not be honest with anyone, with her mother, with her father, with anyone. Maybe she just needed to be honest with God, and that was her punishment. She had to live with her whoredom and her lie. I believe she martyred herself. It's not ideal to martyr yourself, but she did, and how she did it to teach us all was she purposely got cancer. So, you know, you do that. You do that. You take these pills when you're just weak. So you made those. My mom did that. So I respect her for that. She did do that. And so, but Sundays for us, she did do a lot of good. We went to church, and Sundays was a day of rest, and we stayed home, and so most people don't have any reference, and I'm Elon Musk, for example, and Sean Stone, they don't. Elon Musk told me there's 400 some laws in South Africa against white people. Like, he can't own something. I'm like, wow, I did not know that. Thank you for that education this morning. Because I said, though, the Jews everywhere, the Jews are everywhere, the evil. And this is the thing, my second ex-husband, he's not like that. He's not Jewish. He was, I think his father's sterile, so I don't think the name is good Czech Slovak, but he's not, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to, he's a good man. He's a good man, and my most cherished time in our relationship, well, I can't say my most, but the last few years after I fired Cal State University San Marcos in November of 2016, when I knew I was going to do it, it was like summer, July of 2016, we didn't call each other, my then husband, and I'm like, wow, I just figured out I'm going to fire them. I'm going to fire the university systems in America. And so I called him, and we didn't even text each other. We just need to do it. We just had such a great system, the four of us. And so, and you're all jealous, my sister and my sister-in-law and Nancy, and you're all just so fucking jealous, and you will not come clean. And my mother, she was an aunt. She hated Jews. She hated him at first, but then she did change. Because she knew she was dying, and she knew she was a liar and a whore. So, and dishonest. It's really the dishonesty. It's never going to be okay, people, and you just wake the fuck up to that. So, or die, but you're not going to die. You're not going to die. You'll just go out and go get some more alcohol and pills and shit, or you'll run around in a motel on a Sunday screaming with your kids, or you'll put them in daycare. So, I called him. I said, I'm walking away. I'm done being a sociology professor. I'm going to fire him. He's like, right away? He's like, are you sure? Are you sure? Because he knew I cared. And so I said, yes. And so that's it. I established that. I told him, and he was very supportive through it all. But then my favorite time in our marriage, we were married 18 years, but we've known each other since 1983, was those last few years. And we'd go for date night, and I hated it because every place in Southern California was disgusting. And so I would rather just stay home and cook him dinner, which I mostly did. And, I know he's Italian because it's like he cooks two things. Mushroom risotto. Risotto's Italian. And this really, both was great. It's great. And he really liked the risotto, but the spinach lasagna with like tofu and the fake meat. And so those were always the two things. And he's like, I'm going to cook you dinner tonight. And so I'm like, okay, cool. And I liked that. And so I was, researching it. But when we did go out, it was like he'd listen to me. And I was learning with him, and he would listen to me. And so I hope he does that with his current wife. She seems like a very nice person. I I was saying bad, I was being negative about her and being inappropriate, and I apologize for that. I was confused. I was so confused. And the reason why I was confused wasn't because of him or them, it was because of you fucking losers. The Macrones, and you're all such fucking losers, and you won't stop being losers. I've been in prison, I've been in jails, I've done so many things, and you've done nothing. And so, um, but my mom said, I was, I was a caseworker then in Cleveland. She's like, people don't change. Well, she's sitting in the rocking chair watching TV. I'm like, okay. No, I mean, that's just an attitude. It's a really bad attitude. I've never had that attitude. And neither, it's like my first husband, Jay, all he wanted to do was party, and he was full of shit. And so I don't know what he's doing. I don't know what he's doing. But he's just not very strong. He wasn't strong enough for me or good enough for me. So, and he drank a lot and did a lot of drugs, and I didn't trust his sperm. I wasn't going to procreate with that. So, and it was all timing, it was a divine intervention, because it was my last trip back to Cleveland in January. I came back 4 times for my mom's chemo and radiation in 1999. 4 flights I booked for her. So it's fine. I'm glad I did it. I took red eyes every time from San Francisco. So the 3rd time of the 4th, Barry and Estelle, they wanted to have dinner with me. So I had dinner with him at La Fiesta, my mom's favorite Mexican restaurant in like Richmond Heights, I think it is now. So I'm like, okay. And so they were so obnoxious. Nothing had changed with Barry and Estelle, but then somehow I guess I gave my phone number, and then their son, no names, saw my phone number on their kitchen counter, and then he called me. He called my mom. I gave my mom's, my mom gave, so my mom gave the number. Oh, my mom saw them. My mom saw them at La Fiesta. So my mom gave them number. So then he called my mom the last time I was in town in January, first week of January. I had just turned 33, and he was still 33. The same age Jesus Christ was crucified by, you stupid motherfuckers. The Sanhedrin, but you're so stupid, you don't care. And so, and you don't even know what the Sanhedrin is. And so, so he called me at my mom's, and I was in the shower, the bathroom, and she says, Patsy, come here. She wrote down his name and said he called, and I'm like, oh, you didn't tell him I was in the bathroom, did you? So then he called me, and I remember when he called, the thunder struck, and so I screamed, and I'm at my mom's place in Mayfield, her condominium, and so he's like, you want to have lunch? And I'm like, no, I don't really like doing lunch. So his wife then knew I went over to his place, and his boys were young, and she knew she was on a business trip. She was on a business trip. And so, working for Sherwin-Williams, like every slut in Cleveland, a lot of them did that. They worked for Sherwin-Williams and made good money. It's a good company. So, she worked there and institutionalized her 2 sons. Why would you have children? First of all, you had an abortion. Then you think you have the right to have children, Justin and Jordan are great. It's not about them. I'm saying you better fucking face your shit. You know who I'm talking about. I will give my sister credit there. She knew she was never going to have kids, but she's a fucking cunt. She's a cunt and not a good person. And she doesn't care. She doesn't care how evil she's been to me. She does not fucking care. And then she writes music and puts music on there and makes music off Spotify or whatever. And then fucking bitches about how Spotify or whatever doesn't pay her enough. Wow. I'm getting stressed because I need a job. Trying to watch what I spend, but I'm going to catch... Okay, it doesn't matter. I'm going to... So, Elon Musk, at the 400 laws in South Africa, racist black people. They're fucking murdering white people like us. They hate white people. They're fucking evil, and they're here in America too. They go wherever whether they're black or Jewish or whatever. So I obviously I'd get back together with, he's Hebrew. I could say he's Hebrew, but he's not even that much Hebrew. Like, he's more, I don't know. He seems more Italian. His mom's Italian. And so his grandmother, Belle, was Italian, and his father, Hungarian. Grandfather, maternal grandfather. He was great. He was the only real practicing Orthodox Jew. He didn't drive, went to temple every day, and he was a good man. And I would love to learn more about how he got in here. So I think the Nazis spared him and let him come, which is cool. He was an interesting guy. And so, I want him to know more, and his third wife to know these things, because I think with their business, if they share their story, it's such a great story, and there's more I'm learning. Because when I found out what the Third Reich did to the Czech Republic, or the Lycidas Czech village in Chicago in 1942, I'm still processing it. I want to know what happened to all those, because his third wife could be part of that. I wouldn't doubt it, because it seems like there's something about her, like, some people don't know who they are. And can you imagine, your father or your grandfather, maybe it was massacred, and then your mother's taken away from you, and then you're put in a foster care, and you don't even know what is going on. You don't understand. So I suppose it would have been her mother, though. But then it's just like the trauma from something like that. Oh my gosh, and so I learned that at FDC Miami, and I'm still and I want them to know more about that. And the Czech Republic was very, oh God, people didn't leave. They were allowed to go back to Israel, but then the doors shut, and they just didn't think it was ever going to be as bad. And so they took their stuff, and then when, like, okay, Braca, the book, The Seamstresses of Auschwitz, Braca, these women, like about 25 female seamstresses survived because they were seamstresses, and they sewed for rich bitches like Melania Trump. It's not even Nos. She changed it from something else to Nos. And she's been slutting herself and making a lot of money modeling. She's a terrible person, but I just think Trump's saving grace is that he doesn't have to be around her that much. He's busy working. He's busy communicating. And so he doesn't need to be exposed like JFK was in a convertible. He can be using a phone, and he is, and so is Elon Musk. And Elon Musk is not in South. He can't He was born in South Africa, but he can't live there because of you fucking black racists and or Jewish or whatever the fuck you are. You're fucking evil. And so but my now I know, I've sort of attacked my sons and their half brothers, but they're good, they're good. But what happens is what the pathetic loser people confuse me. They trick us, and so I'm pure of heart, and so they're not, and so I get tricked, and then I say something negative, and now I get it. Today I'm getting more, and the pain's slowly going away but God wanted me to have this experience of cleaning a crack house, a drug house, because it slows me down. So I have to slow down and rest and lie down and breathe. So, because you're also evil and so pathetic and so ignorant. So Elon Musk shares that all these laws, and I'm not like, okay, I just so I forgive everyone, but I just don't want to be around you. I don't want to see you. Like, if you see me walking down the street, don't see me. Don't see me. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. And so I like being alone, and I don't, I'm going to say this, like, I feel like maybe I could work for Doge or be a researcher or whatever. Like, I'm already doing it, but I need to make some money. My rent is like $1,100 a month. And then I have goals. Like, I want to help, the property needs could be a lot better. So it's not my place. My landlord owns it, but beautify it and then set an example for the community. It's disgusting over there. I mean, it's disgusting everywhere, but people are literally using their front porches for garbage cans. So I want to set a new precedence, And so I also want to take care of myself a little bit better. I'm not like, my hot yoga days and stuff, or I'm not going to do that anymore. I don't need to do it. I'll go for a walk, and I'm very simple. I don't need a lot, like most of you losers out there. And so, like, I ate half a banana this morning, and the other half, I'm going to go eat the rest of it and then go for a walk. And so I think, like, okay, Howard Stern just posted something of some terrible funk music and Bruno Mars. No, you're not a good person, Howard Stern. You're a loser. And these radio people and these TV people, I want to believe in people, but I need to have clarity. They're fucking losers. Howard Stern's a bad person. He's really bad. And he's not talented. You made your money. Shut up. But whatever, he's allowed to do it. Doesn't he own Sirius Radio? It's just that song that I shared, how sweet thou art. Oh, I cried. Finally, a white female who's beautiful, and Garrett's guy playing the piano. I cried. I was bawling. In here, I was bawling. So that gives me hope. So isn't that good? So I'm looking at my bus ticket. This guy, Angel, fucking the Puerto Ricans, not good. He came to Cleveland. Get the fuck out of here, Angel. Go back to Florida. Go back to Puerto Rico. Cleveland doesn't want you. The guy was a fucking creep. And he's close talking to me and he's talking loud on his phone and in bad Spanish. And, ew, he's sitting right behind me. It was creepy. But I needed to learn. We had a 4-hour layover in Louisville. And he's bad guy. But he did help. He let me use his phone so I could, but I don't know. Maybe people can change. Probably not. The guy's a slut. He's a slut. And they're parasitic. So I believe I don't know. I was okay, I'll just say this. I had a really, really violent bunkie. Her name's Victoria Wallace. Memphis. I saw her again in Oklahoma Transit. She's evil. She's from Tennessee and she's a nasty person. And she was nasty to me again in Oklahoma, but when I was her bunkie, she threatened to beat the shit out of me. So I don't want to even talk about that. But she did, I got out of her cell and she beat the shit out of another white woman and almost killed her a couple days after. Memphis, Victoria Wallace. She does guerrilla pornography. So she said one of her friends or her family members was friends with my second ex-husband's third wife. And that Memphis is saying this, and she was talking to this Jewish woman at FDC, and this Jewish inmate was saying, well, I better not say anything bad about her. And I'm like, I'm going to fucking say whatever I want, you fucking kike. So Memphis wouldn't tell me who the woman was, and I didn't give a fuck. But she's like, yeah, he's not talking to his father and his mother because, and then she said he was changing a tire and he lost a tooth. And I'm like, you're so full of shit. Because he would, he has AAA, it's like, these women are such fucking liars and everybody's a liar. So that's all.